Good afternoon, Wealth Our Way Nation. What is going on? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I welcome each and every one of you to episode 93, my biggest money regrets. You know, I always bare my soul out here on 15 Minutes of Finance, and today will be no different. But before we get into all of that, I want to thank each and every one of you who are here with me live as I stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook and YouTube platforms. I also want to give the Wealth Our Way Nation salute to all the members of Wealth Our Way Nation who watch this program pre-recorded overnight, over the weekend, on their lunch break, anywhere they can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And then a heartfelt how are you to the good folks on the Life 101 platform who listen to the audio of this very here program. So, man, my biggest money regrets. I always try to live my life in such a way that I don't have regrets. I tell my kids, I don't want to ever say I have a regret. There's nothing that I've done that didn't teach me something. And even these money regrets have taught me. And as you will see when I list them, because one of them is more recent than the other two, whereas I'm still learning from the regrets, I haven't learned all the way because I make mistakes every day, baby. Everybody does. But what we have to do is try to never make the same mistake twice, try to learn from our mistakes and do what I am doing now. Share with others the mistakes that you have made so prayerfully you can save them some of the bumps in the road. There is nothing wrong with making sure that others learn from your mistakes. With that being said, I want to share my three biggest money mistakes, and I welcome and invite each and every one of you who are live with me while we're watching this to put in the chat a money mistake that you've made, and more importantly than the mistake itself, how you may have learned from said mistake. So, money mistake number one. I got to go all the way back to 1997, 98, 97. When I left my first job out of college, the first place I worked out of college was Ford Motor Credit Company. I think I've shared this with you before. I had a job with a college degree collecting car notes. And although I never had the luxury of learning personal finance when I was at the Great Temple University, I was a finance major. I did understand the importance of contributing to the employer-sponsored retirement plan. So I was at Ford Motor Credit Company and I put the max into my 401k. And I think they matched like the first 6%. Now, I had two small children when I started my first job and money was tight, but I still knew the importance of maxing out what I could, getting the most out of my retirement savings. So I contributed money to my retirement account and I was there from 96 to the end of 97. So about a year and a half. I think I was making like $31,000 a year. So I was contributing maybe 4,200, 4,500, got a little match. When it was time to leave and go to my first job in high finance, working for Solomon Smith Barney, I had my 401k. I had the opportunity to roll it over into an IRA or some other type of, you could even transfer, leave the money at the Ford Motor Credit Plan. It's not what your boy Big Tank did. I now had a job. So when I was at Ford Motor Credit, I could go to work corporate casual. So I had khakis and a polo shirt. At Smith Barney, you had to be suited and booted. And I had no suits nor boots. So what did I do? Cracked open the 401k and bought all kinds of clothes and spent a couple dollars on some pizzas. You know how I do. And that money is gone now. So let's just do the math real quick. If we say the stock market, and I was an aggressive young investor, so I would have been in the S&P 500, damn near 100%. And from 1997 to 2021, where we are right now, 24 years, earning 10% a year. Every 7.2 years, my money would have doubled. We've had 3 of those periods. So my 10 would have became 20. My 20 would have became 40. My 40 would have become $80,000. I'd have an $80,000 nest egg sitting somewhere ready to become 160,000 in a little bit if I hadn't cracked that open. Now, I started off by saying I've learned from these mistakes. Shh. I didn't learn right away, because what did I do? I started contributing to the Smith Barney retirement plan. And 2 years later, when I moved on from Smith Barney to UBS PaineWebber, I cracked that joint open again, because that's how I was in my 20s turning 30. I didn't have me back then telling me the right things to do. So money mistake number one was prematurely taking distributions from my retirement account instead of thinking about my future self and leaving my retirement accounts alone. So if there's anything I can implore you guys to do, besides for contributing to your retirement accounts, leave them for what they belong for, which is retirement. You hear me say over and over and over again here, I sound like I'm angry at somebody. I'm not, though. Over and over and over again, to keep your investment amount low enough. That's right. I'm telling you to keep it low enough so that in times of toughness, emergency, desperation, you don't have to crack your savings, your retirement savings open, because you didn't put more money into it than you needed for day-to-day liquidity. So if you're contributing 15% to your retirement and you're short on bills, if you can't lower the cost of your life down, then maybe you do need to lower the cost of your retirement down a few percentage points so you have more liquidity. I will tell you, there is nothing more expensive than going into your retirement account, paying the 10% for withdrawing before the age of 59 and a half and giving up the growth of that money. Mistake number two. So when I switched from Smith Barney to PaineWebber, I was given $250,000, almost $240,000 to be exact, to switch brokerage firms. And at the time, I have a really good friend who at the time was buying and selling, flipping as it's called, residential properties in Philadelphia. And he had actually come to me for an investment. He wanted me to invest with him $10,000. He was going to give me $12,000 back in 90 days. I thought it was a great return. And he did. He successfully turned to 10 and to 12. And I asked him, how was he able to do that? And he showed me how he was buying and selling properties in Philadelphia. I said, dude, I want to do this. So I gave him some money, bought my first house. I became addicted. At one point, I had 19 properties all throughout Philly. Some of them I was buying and renting out. Some of them I was buying and immediately flipping. To this day, I have 3 properties left. I've sold all the other ones. And that is my second biggest money regret. I wish I would have held on to these properties, not flipped them, because the money that I made on the flips, and I made money on every deal, let's be clear, every flip. I bought a house on Southford Street in West Philly, between 60th and 61st, between Vine and Collihill, I want to say. I bought the house, it was a duplex, bought it for $8,000. Put about $11,000 into it, renovating it, rented it for 2 years, and then sold it for $67,000. This was happening all the time back then. And this was, 2001. This was 20 years ago. And I was just living my best life, taking these proceeds, doing all types of things, going all around the world, buying bigger houses. And I wish now that I had not been so aggressive in my unloading of these properties, because I could have 19, 20, 25 cash flow free properties where I don't have to get out of bed every morning, and every month I'm getting $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 of cash flow just coming in while getting a chance to depreciate the value of the homes and paying no tax on this money. This is a recession-proof way of bringing money into your life. And I gave it away. Like I said, I made money on it, but my regret is that I was short-sighted in my planning and did not keep this money coming for generations to come. Not just for my enjoyment, but I could have then turned these properties over to my younglings and they could have this money flowing and build a huge real estate empire. Side note, when I was doing all of this, I ran across a guy who had no exaggeration, because I thought he was lying. But now in hindsight, I see how easy it could have been for him not to be lying, because I was doing this as a side hustle and I got 20 properties in 2 years. This dude and his family were trying to sell, no exaggeration, 1,100 properties. The dad or the granddad who had started all of this wanted to retire, and they were selling their whole block of properties. They had properties all over the city. They had over 1,000 properties, and they had some ridiculous price tag on it. But it was great because they had the whole breakdown of how much money you would get, how you would recapture the depreciation, all of this good stuff. And I couldn't believe that you could accumulate that many properties. And now I see that you can. So pro tip, get into real estate, buy and hold, or if you're a flipper, go ahead and do that. But make sure you see the value in real estate. So my third mistake, and I'm making up for it now because I'm making some money. My third mistake was not being open-minded when it came to cryptocurrency. When cryptocurrency first came out, I took part in a seminar. My girl Nicole Purvey, Better Than Success. Shout out to Nicole Purvey, Better Than Success Real Estate League. She had a Saturday morning seminar. Me, my boy Jabbar Fairweather, and some other cat. I can't remember who he was or what he was talking about. I was talking about insurance and investments. The other guy was talking about flipping homes, and Jabbar was talking about Bitcoin. This was in 2013. And I like Jabbar, and I know him, and I trust him. I just didn't want to hear about it. And now I own Bitcoin, of course. I'm making money in Bitcoin and my other coins. But if I would have bought the Bitcoin in 2013, if I'd have did enough research to feel comfortable to put a little bit of money in, probably wouldn't be doing 15 minutes of finance right now. I'd be in Belize with two 25-year-olds. So she'd be my age, she'd be 50 if I had them both together. I'm just playing. But I'd be somewhere enjoying the fruits of my labor, which wouldn't have even been laborious had I been open-minded. Now, this is not for you to go run out and just go stupidly buy cryptocurrency. This is for you to understand the moral of the story is to learn. It's to do research. I said no without having any know. I didn't know what was going on. I just said no. Oh, there's so many other ways for me to make money. Why do I have to learn about this? I didn't know that it was something that's going to be with us in perpetuity, a new asset class. Having a chance to get in on the ground floor of something. I will tell you this. You may not be on the ground floor if you get into cryptocurrency now, but you are still on a floor that you can walk to from the ground floor. You don't need the elevator yet. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. And any particular coin, risky in and of itself. But the asset class, here to stay. All you are seeing right now are fiat currencies, all available in cryptocurrencies. You see central banks, governments finding ways to get digital currency for themselves. This is something you have to know about, to the point where I've assembled a dream team to talk about cryptocurrency. I am just trying to figure out the date where all four of these guys can get together, and we're going to have a cryptocurrency class, a webinar, the same way I did the All Things Insurance, because you guys have to learn this. You know, I have been able to make a good return on my money without putting a bunch of money into cryptocurrency. I still don't trust the asset class enough. It's too new for me to go over the top. I'm never going to pull cash out one of my properties or refinance my house or crack a college fund open and pour all that money in crypto. That's how you get burned. But I tell you guys about dollar cost averaging, about researching, about asset allocation, taking 3, 5, 7% of your overall portfolio and looking at the asset class. If you do that over time, I'm sure you'll be rewarded. You gotta open your eyes and your horizon. So those were my 3 mistakes. First mistake, cracking open retirement plans. Please keep your retirement plans intact for your retirement. Second one, selling off my cash flowing properties when I could still have income coming into today. And lastly, not being open-minded to new ideas, in this particular case, cryptocurrency. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's 15 Minutes of Finance. Join me tomorrow, Tuesday. And remember, as always, wealth is not only for the wealthy. Love you, Kat. See you tomorrow.